Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This video is going to be about auth hooks in Supabase, how we can set up our custom claims inside the user access token that is currently accessing the application or is currently authenticated. So let's get started. Let me first tell you brief about auth hooks. Basically auth hook is a Postgres function which runs every time when a user logs in. So it basically takes an event that is a JSONB, like the complete user structure that the access token have, and then it returns same JSONB with adding few details or removing few details if you want. So there is fixed structure of it, like these are the required claims inside the custom token that you will generate, and these are the optional claims that you can or cannot have. You cannot remove these claims, but you can remove these claims. So let's see by adding user roles. So in every application, every user might have some roles and there might be some joint permissions to the roles. So let's see how we can add directly the roles to the custom token so that we do not need to explicitly fetch the roles in all the row level security policies. So there is two way to think of it, like the RLS. So one way is to fetch the roles inside every policy, and second way is to use a hook. So inside hook, what we can do is inside access token of user, we can add the roles of user, roles/permissions, because roles/permissions. So we are going to do this as this is more efficient and we do not need to add roles inside each and every RLS policies. And we can just inside our RLS policy we can do something like this: auth.jwt, the key name that we have for permission. So let's see how we can create a hook. Let's first go in the documentation. So they have also given a good example. You can see this, or if you want, I was working on a multi-tenancy database, so multi-tenancy with Supabase. So there I was having, there I created a hook. Let me show you the database structure currently. So I have a schema named as base. Inside the base we have workspaces users, workspace resource usage, workspace user permissions. So inside workspace we have one workspace, inside user we have one user. So this ID and the ID that is shared in the auth table, like inside the authentications users we have one user. This ID and the ID of the user that is here is same. So basically when a user logs in, we get its ID in the access token. So this table is basically keeping track of which user is there, his profile or anything other than the normal auth user structure that we want to keep. And then we have workspace users, like which user belongs to which workspace, and then we have workspace user permission, so which user of the workspace have what all permissions. So I have given these permissions like read, create, update and delete. So let's see how we can fetch it inside the access token that the user currently have. So let me show you the current access token. So I have SvelteKit application running. So inside it I have just logged the user in, and I will take the access token from here. I will paste in the jwt.io. So you can see like this is the data that we have currently. So inside this we have subject, audience and all of these things. You can see all these inside the documentation also. I will add the link. So just see this thing. We have a workspace ID inside app metadata to tell Supabase which user belongs to which workspace. So inside the user access token we have this thing. When a user signs up for our organization, we will add this inside the user access token directly, like in the app metadata directly, so that we do not need to every time fetch this. So let's say user belongs to 2 workspaces, then this will be an array. For now I was working on an application that have the functionality where a user belongs to only one workspace, so this will work there. So now let's try to add the auth hook. So I will go to the SQL editor, I will remove this, I will copy a code snippet and will try to explain what is going on here. So this is a function in which basically it is inside the base schema. The name of it is custom access token hook. Then it is taking in the event that was in the documentation also. Then it returns a JSONB, like you will see the event is directly returned. Then we have declared 2 variables. claims and user permissions. So in the claims, we are just taking the claims from the event, like the access token. Like claims would be this thing that we saw here. Let me zoom in. So claims would be this payload that we are seeing here. So we get claims inside the event, and then we are selecting the permission. We are setting inside a variable from base.workspace user permission, the table that we saw. Then in the user ID, we are passing in the user ID that we get from the event, like the token that we have already, JSONB. And then we are typecasting it into UUID, and then we are also adding a filter on workspace ID, which we are taking from the app metadata. Then inside this, we would be having the row that I just show you from this table, workspace user permissions. And then we are checking if it is not null, then this is the syntax to set inside the JSONB. So inside the claims, we are setting user permissions equal to the user permission that we got from the above select statement. If the user permission is null, we are setting the user permissions to be null. Then this will create a function there, and to make sure that the Supabase auth admin that fetches the token and sets the token every time, or everything related to this authentication. So this user is responsible for doing all this. So we need to grant usage on schema base to this so that it can select the data from this table, and then we need to grant execute on this function also, and then we need to revoke this. Like this is not required as we have not granted explicitly, we are inside a new schema, but it is better to do this. Like someone from the outer world should not be having access to this function. And then I have added a select statement on workspace of permission so that the Supabase auth admin can select row from it. So this being done, then we need to go to the authentication section and go to the hooks, then click on add a new hook, and then customize access token claims hook. Select the schema base, select the function custom access token, then create. Then we will see it is currently disabled. We need to configure the hook, we need to enable it, and we need to update. So now it is updated. So now let's try to fetch the token that we have. So now you will see like user permissions is an array, and this is inside the user access token. So whenever a user will log in, this data will be inside that user. So now after adding the user permissions inside the token, we just need to add our RLS policies. So now our RLS policies, instead of having multiple joins, it would be just simple select query. Let me show you. So in this, what we are doing is auth.jwt gives us user permissions. Then we are converting it into an array, and then we are just checking if it exists inside it or not. So like just select the permission that you need. So we are currently inside the workspace users. We need to add a policy to select. We need to add a policy to select the users that are current in the organization, like in the workspace. They should be able to select if they have a permission of users.read. So we will add a policy, we'll give it a name, we'll add select, and then add the role authenticated, and then just create the policy by using JSONB array elements text, then using the auth.jwt user permissions, and then just checking that it exist in it or not. You can also use the any operator. So we'll just save the policy. Let me show you. I'm just refreshing. So now just see, we got the result. This is because inside the workspace user permissions, let me show you the workspace user permissions. Inside this, we have users.read permission for the current user. I will remove it, and now if I just refresh it, now see the data, it is empty. So our RLS policies are working fine. So that's it for the video. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, please like the video and hit the subscribe button.